Welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najima Loima, but first are the headlines. Economy to fully reopen in January, says Museveni. Government to table bill on bail before end of the year. Sudanese army and police reopen roads in Khartoum. And in sports, Cockroach in the spotlight as AC Villa begins season. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. There is finally light at the end of the tunnel after President Museveni assured Ugandans that the economy will be fully reopened in January 2022 with a ration of safety, whether people go for vaccination or not. We have more. In the past, there have been calls from various stakeholders onto government to reopen the economy, but the president had stuck to his guns. Whereas in the past, Museveni said that the full reopening of the economy was tagged on vaccination of a sizable number of the population, on Thursday, President Museveni said government will reopen no matter the vaccination status. He, however, noted that by December, a total of 23 million doses of the COVID vaccines will have been received and that these will be able to vaccinate 12 million people. According to the president, among the 12 million will be the 4.8 million frontline workers like security personnel, the teachers, non-teaching staff in education institutions, medical personnel, and those who are vulnerable, including market workers, bar workers, students at universities, adults above 58 years, and those with underlying illnesses. The president, however, expressed concern that Ugandans over 50 years of age have refused to get vaccinated, but noted that the vaccination is to help them against the virus. The president asked sub-county chiefs, DSOs, and chief administrative officers to ensure they mobilize the population to get vaccinated. Government will table 35 new bills before the close of the year, including a bill aimed at curbing bail for capital offenders. The revelation was made by the Chief Whip, Thomas Tayeba, while meeting journalists under their umbrella body, the Uganda Parliamentary Press Association. Nalugo reports.
Government has so far tabled 10 bills, which include the National Social Security Fund Amendment Bill 2021, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2021, the Landlord and Tenants Bill 2021, the Supplementary Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2021, the Supplementary Appropriation Number 3 Bill 2021, and the Fiscal Planners Registration Bill 2021. Others are the Succession Amendment Bill 2021, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill 2021, and the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Special Provisions Bill 2021 that seeks to facilitate the implementation of the crude oil pipeline project in Uganda. Asked on why government has not yet retabled majority of the old bills that elapsed with the 10th Parliament, Taiwa said the majority of the shelved bills are being assessed by the line ministers and final position will be made. In the same meeting, the Attorney General Chiwa Chonka said consultations on the proposed bill to curb bail for capital offenders are ongoing.
The Sudanese army, in cooperation with the police, have reopened on Thursday some bridges and streets in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. Roads had been closed by barriers set up by protesters in the wake of the military coup last Monday.
The reopening of bridges and streets was closely monitored by the armed forces. Some streets, however, remain closed. Some bridges that were reopened link the Bahare district and Omdurman city with the capital. Sudan's military seized power on Monday, dissolving the transitional government hours after troops arrested the prime minister. In response, thousands of people flooded the streets to protest against the coup that threatened the country's shaky progress towards democracy. General Burhan has said Monday's coup was justified to avoid civil war and that the detained prime minister will be returned to his home on Tuesday. Earlier, he sought to justify the takeover by blaming political infighting. Troops are reported to have been going house to house in Khartoum, arresting local protest organizers. Central bank staff have reportedly gone on strike And across the country, doctors are said to be refusing to work in military-run hospitals except in emergencies.
Let's go for a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa, The Right to Know. French President Emmanuel Macron has confirmed the return of a collection of artifacts to Benin. The collection comprises of 26 pieces looted during colonial times. We have more. The transfer of ownership will be enacted in 2 weeks during the visit of Beninese President Patrice Talon to the Elysee Palace. Aurélien Agbenouchi, Benin's foreign minister, said that the 26 pieces of art that were shown for the first time altogether are representing an exceptional and irreplaceable cultural heritage for the people of Benin. The minister added that France and Benin are showing the world an example of museum and heritage cooperation through this restitution. In the United Kingdom, Cambridge University became the first British institution to return a Benin bronze to the Nigerian authorities. The intricately carved Okukol Kokerel was stolen from the country during British colonial rule. The return of the artifact culminates decades of campaigning by activists. Prince Agatise Elediawa, representing the historic kingdom's traditional ruler, the Oba of Benin, was present in the ceremony to mark the occasion. Moving on, a senior delegation of ECOWAS arrived on Thursday at Guinean capital, Conakry, for a 3-day visit. The visit comes almost 2 months after ECOWAS suspended Guinea's membership following a coup in the country in early September. The delegation is led by Commission President Jean-Claude Cassis-Brou. Chairman of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassis-Brou, said that the transition has produced a charter. Important appointments have been made and the government is gradually being set up. He added that they are in Guinea to meet with the authorities and take stock of the situation and to see to what extent ECOWAS can provide practical support to the process underway. Representing the government, Morisanda Koyata, Guinean Minister of Foreign Affairs, added that the atmosphere is calm and a lot is expected from ECOWAS, its accompaniments and its support. On September 5th, a military uprising led by Mamadi Doumbouya overthrew President Alpha Conde, dismissed the government and announced a transitional charter. Doumbouya was sworn in as the transitional president on October 1st and pledged to respect the country's international commitments. Moving on, Parliament announced on Wednesday that President Cyril Ramaphosa had informed the institution about the employment of soldiers in partnership with police for the establishment of a safe and secure environment during the vote next week. Let's take a look. Early this week, the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster Ministers assured South Africans that next week's local government elections would be safe and free. Defense Minister Thandi Modise said police would be deployed at all voting stations and the result centers. She said the cluster had identified hotspots for violence and would deploy police accordingly. She added that the deployment of the police, the army and other law enforcement agencies will be determined and guided by structured threat analysis and crime patterns. Modise said SANDF members were on standby to be deployed in support of the police and the IEC should a need arise, adding that their key responsibility would be protecting national key points and other strategic installations. Her police colleague Becky Sele said for provinces KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Western Cape and Eastern Cape were regarded as hotspots for violence ahead of the elections. KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng were the epicenters of violence and looting in July, prompted by the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma for contempt of court. Over 95,000 candidates are taking part in Monday's election, in which 26 million people are eligible to vote. Let's once again take a very quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, economic activities are on hold in Khartoum, and telecommunications have been cut off as the Sudanese partake in a nationwide civil disobedience in response to a military coup which was announced on Monday that has sparked international condemnation.
The Health Ministry said that 7 people have been killed since Monday in Khartoum and its sister city Omdurman following clashes between protesters and the security forces. He added more corpses had since been received, some with wounds caused by sharp objects. On Monday, takeover leader General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan dissolved the government that was meant to guide the country to full civilian rule following the overthrow of long-ruling autocrat Omar al-Bashir in April 2019. Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, who was detained by the military Monday in sweeping arrests of civilian leaders, remains under guard at his home, where he was moved after an international outcry. Other ministers remain under full military arrest. Global bodies including the United States, European Union, Britain, Norway and other nations emphasized their continued recognition of the Prime Minister and his cabinet as the constitutional leaders of the transitional government. Burhan, a senior general during Bashir's 3-decade-long hardline rule, on Wednesday also sacked 6 Sudanese ambassadors, including to the US, EU, China and France, after they sided with the civilian leaders he ousted. The World Bank has put its aid on hold, a major blow to a country already in the grip of a dire economic crisis. Sudan only recently unlocked funds from the lender and its sister institution, the International Monetary Fund, after decades under sanctions during Bashir's rule. Washington has also paused $700 million in funding, and the European Union has threatened to follow suit.
In our health news today, hundreds of travelers at Entebbe International Airport have expressed their frustration at delays after the government took over the mandatory testing for COVID-19 for everyone entering the country. Hundreds of travelers spent October night stranded at the Entebbe International Airport waiting for the insurance of their COVID-19 results. Some incoming travelers said they have spent close to 24 hours waiting for COVID-19 test results. President Museveni last week commissioned the testing facilities at Entebbe International Airport as government took over the process of the mandatory COVID-19 testing for all travelers entering the country through the airport. According to government officials, the turnaround time for the mandatory COVID test results will be reduced from 4 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes, with 5 PCR test machines with capacity to test 300 samples per hour put in place at Entebbe International Airport. All travelers will be charged $30 for the test. Vianney Luja, the spokesperson of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, said that the situation is being addressed and assured all passengers of a good experience through Entebbe Airport. And in sports, AC Villa get their season underway 3 March days late when they host Bogiside Police at Kavumba on Friday.
The Records champions have had off-field troubles that delayed their inclusive into the fixtures, but their preparations on the field went on calmly under new coach Petros Konkuros. The Greek isn't the only new face at Villa Park as the team prepares to face the Corps. A host of new promising talents have been signed, led by Ismail Mugulusi, Ken Semakula, Travis Mutiaba, Oscar Mawa and goalkeeper Bashir Sekaja, among others. Kokoras is aware of the pressure cooker at a club desperate to win a league title for the first time since 2004, but admits it will be tough asking a such younger group for a title at the moment. Kokara said that he wants to win titles, although most of his players are in the development stage who have the potential to be the best in the country. In Police, the Jogos face a side that they haven't beaten since a 1-0 with Back in 2008. The previous league meetings have all ended in stalemates and they come into the game wounded after losing 3 in a row. Abdallah Mubiru's side could welcome back skipper Tony Maweje, who has been out since match day 1 when he was injured in a 2-0 loss to Vipers Sports Club.
And that was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way.